Hi, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is a quick vlogging test with the Sony Alpha A6600, the new flagship alpha mirrorless camera, at least in their APS-C sensor range. You're looking at spending $1,400 for this body when it arrives later in 2019. And I'm filming this with the equally new E-mount 16-55mm f2.8 zoom, which was launched alongside it for much the same price. It's a $2,800 combination that I'm using here. I think this lens is going to be really popular with vloggers, filmmakers, or just anyone who's into general purpose photography and wants an aspirational zoom with a constant f2.8 aperture. At last, we have a nice lens, a lens that you could really aspire to in the APS-C series. And of course, you could mount it on a full-frame camera in its APS-C mode. But enough about the lens for now. Let's talk about the Alpha A6600, the camera I'm using to record this clip. Now, I'm filming this in 4K at 24p. You can also film at 25 or 30p. The movie specs are pretty much the same as the A6400 before it, so you get uncropped footage at 24 or 25p, which is oversampled from 6K's worth of information. It looks really nice. 30p, it doesn't oversample, and there's a minor crop. I'm also recording the audio here with a Rode Wireless Go that's connected to the microphone input. Now, while the A6600 is the replacement for the A6500 at the top end of this range, and indeed its key selling point is having built-in image stabilization, which I'm using now because the lens isn't optically stabilized, it's easier to understand it by using the A6400 as a starting point because it shares a great deal with that camera. The same body, the same 24 megapixel sensor, 11 frames per second shooting, same autofocus system, same tilting touchscreen, same XGA viewfinder. You know, it's very, very similar. Same movie specs, same image quality. But what's new? Well, most obviously, you get the built-in stabilization. It uses the same system as the A6500, and that is a really nice benefit because it works with any lens you attach. The next major benefit is that the A6600 becomes Sony's first APS-C mirrorless camera to use its Z series FZ100 battery, and it absolutely transforms the battery life as it did with the full-frame bodies that it's included on. In fact, Sony's quoting over 800 shots under super conditions with this battery, which actually outlasts the specs that it quotes for the full-frame bodies. So that's really nice, and of course it also means you're going to get longer recording time when you're filming video. Oh, I should say, like the A6400, it also inherits unlimited movie recording times, so you're not limited to half-hour clips. So, stabilization, longer battery. Beyond that, you're getting a headphone jack. Believe it or not, the first time Sony has equipped an APS-C body with a headphone jack. Really, it should have done that a while ago, but at least it's got it now. And you also get eye detection in movies. What you're not getting, though, is dual card slots. You're not getting an upgraded viewfinder. There are quite a few specs where they've not really changed anything. The grip is bigger, though, to accommodate that bigger battery, and it does feel a little bit nicer in your hands. Now, for me, the big rival for the A6600 may not be bodies like Canon's M6 Mark II or Fujifilm's X-T3, bodies like that, but maybe one of Sony's own full-frame bodies. How about the A7 Mark III? Now, hear me out. That body costs $2,000, so it's $600 more expensive than the 6600, but there are some cheap lenses that are available for it. If you were to fit the Tamron 28-75mm f2.8, or indeed the 17-28mm f2.8, you can get a combination that costs the same $2,800 as the A6600 and the new 16-55. So tell me which you would prefer, to be shooting full frame at f2.8 or APS-C at 2.8. Now, obviously, the A7 Mark III in that lens is going to be bigger, it's going to be heavier, but it's still something to weigh up, isn't it? But in the meantime, I'm really pleased that Sony has released another APS-C camera, coincidentally, again, about 7 or 8 months after the last unstabilized version. So there's a little bit of a pattern there, as we suspected there might be. And I'm really delighted that even though it is quite expensive, there is a new aspirational E-mount zoom with an f2.8 constant aperture. So tell me, are you excited about the A6600, about the new 16-55mm f2.8 lens? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, this is very much my very, very first go with the camera, and I'm going to be following it up with loads more content here on YouTube and at cameralabs.com. So if you want to find out more about this camera, you know where to look. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and don't forget to tell me what you think of this combination in the comments. Thanks. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.